Have you ever come across something so ancient, so profound, that it makes you question everything you thought you knew about history? Now, imagine uncovering a structure that's 12,000 years old, something that predates even the Egyptian pyramids. Sounds like something straight out of a science fiction story, right? But this is no fantasy. This is Göbekli Tepe, a discovery that is shaking the very foundations of our understanding of ancient civilizations. Today, we're diving deep into the mysteries of human history, exploring ancient sites that are older, more complex, and more extraordinary than we could have ever imagined. From Göbekli Tepe in Turkey to other ancient wonders, each discovery brings us one step closer to understanding a world we never knew existed. Stick around, because by the time this video ends, you'll be rethinking everything about ancient history. These revelations will change not only how we view our ancestors, but possibly how we understand civilization itself. And who knows, you might start looking at the world around you in a completely new light. The amazing discovery of Göbekli Tepe, a glimpse into the past. In the late 1960s, archaeologists made one of the most groundbreaking discoveries in human history. Deep in the southeastern hills of Turkey, they unearthed a site that would completely challenge the conventional understanding of early human civilization. This site, Göbekli Tepe, is over 12,000 years old, which makes it not only older than the Egyptian pyramids, but also much older than any known civilization we have records of. What was initially thought to be just another ancient settlement turned out to be an incredibly complex site, altering everything we knew about the origins of human society. Göbekli Tepe consists of massive stone pillars, some as tall as 16 feet and weighing 10 tons, arranged in monumental circles. The carvings on these stones are equally mind-blowing. Animals like lions, scorpions, and foxes were etched into the stones as though the ancient people were creating a gallery of art. But the most astonishing part of the discovery, Göbekli Tepe was constructed long before humans had even developed agriculture. We're talking about a time when people were still primarily hunter-gatherers, moving from place to place in search of food. It seems, then, that humans were capable of building monumental structures well before they settled into farming communities. It may have been that early humans gathered here, not for survival, but for cultural and ceremonial purposes. This could have been one of the very first religious centers, a place where people from different tribes would come together to share ideas, rituals, and celebrations. This discovery opens up a whole new perspective on the evolution of human societies. Could it have been the desire for ritual and community that led to the transition from hunting and gathering to settled farming? Göbekli Tepe has rewritten the script on the timeline of human history, and it suggests that ancient humans were far more complex, sophisticated, and socially driven than we once imagined. The builders of Göbekli Tepe were not just focused on survival, they were creating culture, art, and meaning. And perhaps it was these early rituals that set the foundation for the rise of civilization. The Karnak stones in France, ancient burial chambers. Let's now fast forward to France, where another monumental discovery took place in the 1950s. Workers in Brittany, digging for paving stones, accidentally stumbled upon a buried treasure, a Neolithic site that was hidden for thousands of years. This site, known as the Karnak stones, dates back to around 4,800 BC, and its discovery further expands our understanding of ancient societies. The Karnak stones are not just a burial site. They are complex burial chambers with intricate engravings of axes, serpents, and other symbols. These carvings suggest that the site wasn't just a place of burial, but also one of cultural and ritualistic significance. The ancient builders of the Karnak stones were not only focused on burial practices, but they also left behind a legacy of symbolism, one that would have had a profound spiritual meaning for the people who created it. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Karnak stones is the sheer architectural complexity of the site. The size of the chambers, the arrangement of the stones, and the level of detail in the carvings showed that the ancient people were more than just survivors. They were highly skilled engineers and artists. They understood the power of monumental architecture and were already employing symbolic art to convey meaning and connection to the spiritual world. The lesson here is simple. Ancient societies were capable of far more than just survival. They were building monumental structures that lasted for millennia, creating art, and practicing complex rituals. The people of the Neolithic period were not just focused on subsistence, they were focused on preserving beliefs, marking time, and connecting with the world beyond the material. The Gantija temples in Malta, a monument to the giants. Next, let's take a trip to the small island of Malta, where we encounter a site that predates even the Egyptian pyramids. The Gantija temples, built between 3600 and 3200 BC, are some of the most remarkable structures in the world. Local legend says that these temples were constructed by giants, but the reality is just as awe-inspiring. The Gantija temples are built from massive stones, some of which weigh as much as 50 tons. And here's the kicker. They didn't have advanced machinery to move those stones. This raises an important question. How did they do it? The answer is still a mystery. But what is clear is that the builders of Malta were advanced architects and engineers, capable of feats of construction that still leave us baffled. Despite some early mismanagement during excavation, the Gantija temples remain one of the most significant archaeological sites in the world. Restoration efforts have allowed us to glimpse into the ingenuity and vision of the ancient Maltese people. The presence of these massive, awe-inspiring structures speaks to the ambition and skill of those who built them. They were not just creating shelters, they were creating monuments that would last millennia, testifying to their creators' mastery of engineering and their drive to build something that would endure beyond their lifetimes. Newgrange and its astronomical alignment. Now let's head to Ireland and explore Newgrange, a tomb that has been standing for over 5,000 years. The tomb, which dates back to around 3200 BC, is not only remarkable for its size, but also for its astronomical alignment. Newgrange's entrance is precisely aligned with the sunrise on the winter solstice. Every year, on this day, the sun's first rays pour into the chamber, lighting it up in a stunning display that must have been deeply significant to the ancient people who built it. This wasn't just a tomb, it was a ceremonial site designed with an incredible understanding of astronomy. The builders of Newgrange knew how to track the sun's path, and they incorporated this knowledge into their architecture. The fact that the Newgrange tomb was aligned with such precision suggests that the builders were not only interested in the afterlife, but were also deeply connected to the cycles of nature, especially the movement of the sun. This tomb was a connection point between the physical world and the spiritual world, marked by the alignment of the sun at a specific time each year. The builders of Newgrange were not just interested in burying the dead. They were interested in connecting with the cosmos, marking the passage of time, and celebrating the eternal cycle of life. From Göbekli Tepe to the Karnak stones, the Gantija temples, and Newgrange, one thing is clear. Ancient civilizations were far more advanced than we ever imagined. These stunning structures, with their intricate designs, astronomical knowledge, and complex cultural significance, prove that our ancestors were visionaries, not primitive societies struggling to survive, but cultures that pushed the boundaries of architecture, art, and intellectual thought. These discoveries are a testament to the human spirit, showing that our desire to connect, create, and understand the world around us is as ancient as time itself. The past is not just a series of survival stories. It's a record of ambition, intelligence, and the pursuit of something greater than ourselves. As we unearth these ancient secrets, we're left with one big question. What mysteries will future archaeologists uncover about us? When they dig into the ruins of our world, what will they think? Just as we uncover the past, the future awaits us to leave behind a legacy of our own. What do you think? How do these discoveries challenge your view of ancient history? Drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts.